Good morning, welcome to 59 Minutes. My name is Levi Kones. This morning we are going to be talking about matters to do with how you express yourself, communication, soft skills. We have a lady who is a guru in that department. She's an author of 2 books. One of them is called Dare Be You. The other one is called
Uncaged.
Uncaged. Her name is Winnie Tanui. She's here to talk to us about that and so much more in terms of careers and life skills and what you need. That's not just paper and your qualifications. Karibu sana.
Asante sana. It's a
Glad to
pleasure
have
to
you
be
here.
here. Yeah, thank you.
It's interesting we're having this discussion because right now we have a backdrop of people who say, you have skills, and then there are those people who are maybe street smart. And many times you find that even in our government and what's playing out right now, there are some guys who are street smart who are getting somewhere. And some guys with skills.
Technical skills.
Yes, who have the know-how, who don't seem to be getting
somewhere.
And that's a debate people are having. Maybe some people are actually, they may not be having the skills, but they have a very good language of expression, the way they bring to the table. Let me ask you first of all, how important is that, you expressing yourself?
Oh, it's critical because, we don't know what you know unless you tell us what you know. That's the only way for us to determine what you know. So self-expression, I think, is a skill all of us will have to know because you need to express what you know. Yes.
So tell me about your books first.
So, thank you. So I have books here. They are Dare Be You and Uncaged. It's about just self-development. How do you be a better you, as in so that you can get the opportunities you're looking for? Because I know many of us actually have gone to school that is really good. We have the technical skills, but we miss something small, how to serve these technical skills to open for us the doors that we need. Yeah, because all of us are knocking at some doors. We are looking at opportunities out there. But some little things, not too hard, and they have even been called soft. They are not the hard ones, but actually it shuts so many people. And you see now the people you're saying who are street smart, I think they've mastered the art of soft skills, how to express yourself, how to network, how to communicate better, how to write better. And they succeed because now they're able to tell people knock the doors and people open to them. But many people are disadvantaged because of soft skills. So it's high time we became aware and start learning. I think it's critical for us at this point to start learning soft skills.
I hear you, because when you meet someone, the first thing you notice is not what their academic prowess. You notice how they're behaving, what they're saying.
Yes.
Later on you can find out, oh, akona PhD.
But ya muhimu, and they say don't judge a book by its cover, but sadly, that's how you're judged, especially as soon as you open your mouth. Just how you carry yourself, your attitude. There are things that look minor, but really they can close doors.
Why are we teaching them? Those are things people think, they imagine they're natural.
Yes, and when you say that, then it shuts so many people off because many people actually assume I am either a leader, I'm either born a leader. That's the question of are leaders made or born? So many people assume some people are born leaders. So the idea that I've never been a prefect in class, nobody in school saw my leadership potential, then critically I just shut myself off. All these are skills are learnable. We all learned, by the way, everything we know now. We learned how to walk. Nobody was born walking. Nobody was born talking. We learned how to talk. So we learned everything else. We learned what we have. So all these soft skills, actually even leadership skill is a learnable skill. It can be taught. You can learn and you can be a leader. You can learn how to express yourself better. You can learn English much better. Forget about what you did up to Form 4. And the sad thing about many of us is that, somebody has said anyway, that Africans, if you want to hide something from an African, put it in a book. Why? Many people don't read. When people left Form 4, the last time they read is for KCSE. Some people have never read anything for the last 10 years. Some went to university. After university, they don't read. So if you don't read, you don't improve yourself. So you have to keep on learning. So whatever skills you don't learn, you don't have at this point, you can learn.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's interesting you say that. I was telling someone, I read the papers every day. I even have them here, but we are a dying breed that actually reads the Gazette. You know.
That's how sad it is. At a gazette.
At a gazette. I even go on social media. I see people writing on social media. Somebody writes a very nice post. They talk about maybe something like cancer, and then somebody goes and makes a comment there and says, too long, summarize.
And you see, so if you don't read, you don't get new knowledge. And the worst thing is, or the good thing is, that we live in a world that is so fast, information changes so fast, that if you learned engineering 10 years ago and you don't learn anything new, I don't think you can even qualify. After your technical skills will disappear, because the knowledge you learned there, the kind of technology people were using even in accounts 10 years ago is no longer relevant. So we are saying you have to keep on learning, and you can learn everything. So so you can learn to be a leader, you can learn to express yourself better, you can learn how to problem solve. I mean, those are skills that are being taught and you can learn. And that is,
So what book did you write first?
Dare Be You. Dare Be You.
Why?
I think that simple reason. I think the realization for Dare Be You is that I noticed, and this is more of a personal story, I noticed that actually at some point I was not sure what I want for myself. And one day, I think I had to ask God for a long time, God, what do I do? Because I always felt there's something more I need to do, and I wasn't sure what I want. So, and then...
Did you have any ideas? Maybe this, maybe that?
Yeah, I think I actually knew it when I was in the university. It was very clear, because I'm a teacher by training. I've been trained to teach English and literature. So when sitting in that class, I think the most interesting thing about being in university was learning psychology. And why we were learning psychology as teachers is for us to be able to understand our students. But every time I sat in a psychology class, I always felt this cannot be privileged information. I mean, why are you teaching teachers to know how to understand students? Why are you not even teaching the students? Yes, why not teach the students how to know themselves? So I think in that lecture hall, there was a dream. But when I came out here, life happened, and I think I forgot that dream. And that dream kept on, I think, somewhere in the background. So I kept on thinking in my mind, there's something more. So I kept changing jobs from this job to that job. So I have a very interesting career journey, but I always felt there's something more, And that something more led me actually to ask myself, really, what is this something more? So for a month or two, I kept on asking that curiosity, what is this? Then a message just came to me, Dare Be You. Then it took me back to really, what did I want to do? And I always knew, by the way, when I was young, that I want to be a writer. But I thought I'll write one day when I have fikaed mwisho wa maisha, I have accomplished so much, I have a beach house, and I'll be writing in the beach as a leisure. But now, thinking, daring to be me, now I had to go back. Who am I really? What do I want for myself? Then I realized writing was one of them. Then the question is, what do I write? Then I had to go back, I think, to that psychology lecture. I just want to help people understand themselves better. And that is the mission. So all these books for me, it was a way of understanding myself. And it's a good book also for anybody who just wants to know what really do I want for myself? And how do I set goals for myself? So
you say 7 what in the book?
7 steps to jumpstart you towards the person, to be the person you are meant to be. Because there's actually, I believe there's a way. Because there's some things, everybody is wired uniquely. And many of us lose that. Because now we socialize to live like a herd. Not a bad thing. And many of us lose this by the time we are 7 years old. We have been socialized to listen to all the other voice except your voice. It's a good thing, especially because we need to live in a society, as members of society. But that socialization shuts off a voice. And many of us just reach a point. And many people will go to school, do all the right things. So for me, when I got this to self-discovery, I think I had ticked, gone to school, got a job, got married, had children, and now you think everything will be tick, tick, tick. But I realized after all the ticking, there was still something more. And I think the ticking was, I was missing what is Winnie in me, the Winnie-ness. Yes.
I hear you, because sometimes there's an expectation that life is just ordinary. At some points we said in school or that way, you're born, you go to school, you get married, you have children, you die. like in between. There's nothing so spectacular,
yes.
you know. And next door they do that, but we have people doing extraordinary things, and you know, why can't that be you and me?
Everybody actually
You know.
is capable of extraordinary thing because everybody is unique.
Yeah.
Everybody is wired to be unique. So if you miss that uniqueness, and that is where we have this something called the crisis at 40.
Yeah.
40-year-olds, they have a crisis, they know. Therefore, everybody who is 40 knows. By the time you reach 40, because now you realize, okay, you've been living life by the book, and there's an emptiness. That emptiness speaks to your uniqueness. So it's something you need to embrace. And the world is waiting if you don't wake up to your uniqueness, because everybody is significant. The question is, are you rising up to your uniqueness? If you don't rise, that space, by the way, nobody can sit on your face. And that is why sometimes the idea of competition is not a godly way of living. I think the way to live this life is cooperation. Why? Your uniqueness, you bring it to the group. Your uniqueness, and the society works well. When the society has problem, it is some people who are not raising up to their purpose.
And why? What's stopping us?
Because we don't know. Sometimes it's actually lack of knowledge. I don't blame us. Because sometimes hujawahi hata sikia. Hujawahi funzwa. Yeah, so we don't know.
Well, the lack of knowledge.
Yeah, there's lack of knowledge.
What about also fear?
Yeah. Fear actually, because now when
fear of failure.
It is, and then now, because now all those things are just cover-ups of really because now what is covering all this, what is covering this nice uniqueness? It's like honey inside. But now it's covered by so many things. Doubt, we picked doubt, we picked fear of being judged, what watasema. You know, there's this something we always say, atambia nini watu. You know, that is actually fear. It's actually an element.
Did you feel it when you're writing a book, the first book?
Of course, a lot. In fact, I was like...
Did you ask yourself who will buy?
In fact, the first time I left my job, because I left job actually to really find myself, everybody was telling me, and even me, I was like, nitaambia nini watu?
Unaacha kazi.
Unaacha kazi, unaenda ku find yourself. Kwani umepotelea wapi? So there's that. It's a huge fear. And you see, every time we take it like it's a joke. Utaambia nini sasa watu? That is actually fear of judgment, and it is an obstacle towards being the person you are meant to be. So there is fear, there is doubt, there is so fear of judgment. I have written so many of I've addressed those fears actually in this book.
So you wrote and said, what if you knew you would not fail?
What would you do?
I like that very much, that statement.
Because that is, some of us just fear failing.
Yeah.
And you know what, where we got all these things, I am an African mother. I know mothers would be very annoyed if I say this, but let me just say, the way we were brought up, and all of us are mothers, and I want to say, because I'm a mother, I think I have authority to speak this, yeah. When we were being brought up, you see the time, actually, you know, life we run on programs. And these programs, we learned them when we were between 0, in fact, around -3 months before you were born. You started understanding your environment. You could hear voices, you know, friendly voices, you know, voices of people who are friendly to you, and some that makes cringe. And mothers know. There are sometimes the babies just get scared in the tummy, and there are times when they are playing. So we pick anxiety even from mother. When mother is anxious, definitely gives birth to a very anxious baby. Why? Because you pick signals. We pick signals from our environment. So when we were young, from the moment we was 0 to 7, we had to learn. And you see, that time we were in a school at home, caregivers. We were just writing notes, and imagine you are not even questioning, and it was not you know, as caregivers, we didn't know we were teaching children how to live. So we were just living our own lives, but children pick. And you know, many of us operate from fear-based sort of thinking. We don't want to make mistakes, because why? If you make a mistake, you get a stick. You know, even caning. Why caning? Caning is a way of reinforcing a lesson with pain, so that next time, usisahau. That's the reason why we beat children, to reinforce. So, but as we reinforce lessons, we reinforce a lot of fear. So as children, we were born okay. So we wrote so many lessons, and we were in a school called life. We were learning from our environment. And you know, the environment there was, people didn't know it was a school for these children. People don't know when you have a baby who is up to 7 years old and learn kila kitu. how you behave. Actually, we pick all, that's how we learn language. We learn everything. So by the time we are 7 years, we are just as good as our environment, which is a good thing. Why? Because we need to survive. But the question is, you've learned everything about the environment, nothing about you. So now you're operating from a program that is environment-based, but you are not there. And many of us don't know that. So that is when we struggle a lot later on in life, because we are running on progress. Remember, as you learn something, why we keep on, when you learn something, like now ABCD, you know, all of us learned ABCD. How was it? Nursery school, walikuwa nafunza repetition. You repeat something, it becomes a program. It runs down there in the subconscious. Now you don't even know that you're running on programs that are not useful to you. But unless now the daring to be you is going back to those programs and saying, these programs really, is it what I want to be there, or can I learn better programs? And I think that is the purpose of why I write these books. That's the reason for Uncage. As in, you go back to those programs you have. Why do I really fear? Especially some of us, like now, like girl child, some other issues. Like children, like in our community, kama our kale, children are not supposed to talk where adults talk. And you'd find many people who come from where we come from. Self-expression, because it has been programmed. Watu wakiongea, shut off, especially people who are senior to you. So you'll find people in the office who cannot talk to their bosses because the old program of don't talk to elders. There's a mistake. Yeah. And you see, a workplace is a place where we need you to bring your skills. Nobody has all the answers. The reason why the boss is bringing you to work for him is that he needs you to help. Yeah. Because if he could do the work, he could do it alone.
You make a very good point. You know, I was watching a documentary and I saw a plane that crashed, one of those air crash documentaries. And they go and find out why the planes are crashing. And they had this particular episode where they had this plane that crashed because the pilot made a mistake, but the co-pilot didn't correct him. He knew his pilot had made a mistake, but his pilot was senior. But they said the problem was they had a hierarchy where senior guys are never questioned. So this guy could not speak up. And they went down.
Imagine, killing everyone.
Everyone. Because of that, what you're saying, that culture that you know you cannot, because even sometimes even a child can teach you something. I mean, our children can teach us something.
They teach us a lot.
You know, it would be hard for parents sometimes to accept that. Because when we were growing up, you could never tell our parents they were wrong.
Wrong, yeah.
You know, they were right. Maybe thanks to technology, sometimes Google, sometimes what. My children tell me things, I'm like, okay,
yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Because they have a different perspective of life you don't have. Yeah. And that is why it is important to learn. So that's why I'm saying when we go back to the idea of dare be you, is just go back to your programs, really. Because the question is, why am I fearing? Have you ever asked yourself, why don't I want to talk to the boss? And you see, after the meeting, when you say teamwork, cooperation, people usually have ideas. When they go out of the meeting, they say, tunajua, hiyo kitu wamesema itaanguka. Why? Even naive. Why were you not telling us?
Yeah, fear of getting fired.
Yes. Or fear of what will people say. In fact, I think the worst is fear of what will people say.
No, also, I think it's fear that your point will be dismissed and you might be vilified for it. Yes.
But the question is, why are you fearing that? Yeah. It means you don't believe in your... At the end of the day, if you peel the layers, because it's in layers form, you realize, why do I fear? I fear people to... many people fear being criticized. Yeah. And it is that kasukari issue. Remember when we mothers came home and said, nani amekula sukari? There were always two people who used to eat sukari. Si mimi na sijui. Two people. Si mimi, sijui. Because people don't want to be punished. Yeah. So there's that fear of punishment. If I do a wrong thing, I'll be punished. So we carry it everywhere. So I chato mini nyamaze, staki shida.
No wonder, you know, if you want people to tell you something, if you tell them, wake up a suggestion box, unapata suggestions.
Mzuri. Because people just fear being punished, being judged.
Now usiandike jina yako, they're like, okay.
But you know, if you're in an organization or in a home, wouldn't it be a good place to share your ideas? Hizo ideas unaziweka mpaka lini? What do you want to do with ideas? We need to bring those ideas.
We need to bring those ideas.
Yeah.
True. You do mention that there's a niche there, and I think you have a target market that is the young people. Right?
Yeah, young people, especially the ones, especially two critical points. One is before you choose a career. Because for me, the day I be you, there's something about you, and you need to understand you. And there are so many tests. If you go online, you'd be surprised. People started doing these tests 1920s, psychometric test. The psychologist akina Carl Jung and whatever. They actually saw a niche a while ago. So if you go online, there are so many free tests. You just go and be able just to understand really, who am I? Just from what you do, what you like, your actions. So for me, 2 points. Just before you choose a career, because it's important to choose a career that works well for you. And 2, how to rethink career, because now there's this point of I've left university, I am at home, and the job market here in Kenya is means we really need to rethink.
And I have this degree.
Yes, you need to rethink really the job market, because it's no longer straight. Our parents maybe had it easier, because that time there were few people who had gone to school. Not that there were more opportunities, there were fewer people who really had the skill. So this time round, we are many of us. So we really need to rethink how to get a job. And for me, the easiest definition for a job is an opportunity to serve.
Okay.
To solve somebody's problem.
I'm going to pause you there so we can take a break, because I want to come back and ask you, before I choose a career, what should I do?
Okay, thank you.
What steps should I take?
Okay.
There are guys out there who are at home who are on a tough kazi. We'll be right back after this message. Don't go away. We are speaking to Winnie Tanui. She's a coach, as well as an author, as well as a trainer and an encourager, and somebody who is a guru in the field of careers and life skills. We'll be right back after these messages.